Alright, first game, watching 369, playing against Bin. Rek'Sai versus Rumble. One of the harder matchups. Now, my fucking camera, Jesus Christ. Hello? I don't know. Alright, let's see here. One of the harder matchups for Rek'Sai for sure. It's one of the ones I don't really enjoy playing, personally. It's not like unplayable or anything, I won't say that. You can for sure play it, and obviously he managed to play it this game. So we'll look at how he managed to do that. Yeah, and in general we'll just look at, okay, what does he do, what does he look to punish Rumble. Rumble is a champion most people, I think, don't enjoy playing that much against. It's a heavy lane bully. And I'm sure Rek'Sai is as well. Now, obviously this is pre-nerfed Rek'Sai. We'll go a bit increased speed, as you can see here. I think it's just makes it easier, or not easier maybe, but like a bit faster for the review. So you can see, instead of gaining the 5 that you gain now, what's it called? Maybe we go slower for the laning phase. Maybe we go 125. So you can see he gains like 12.5 or whatever. 12 it is rather. It's 12.5, like realistically, right? Because he gains like 13 on the next one, right? Instead of the 5 you gain now on live patch, which is a lot more. You can see how he looks to trade as well. So in general, this is the classic trade pattern on Rek'Sai. I mean, here obviously he takes some damage from Rumble. He has a Fury built up though. He doesn't mind too much. He just walks forward, makes sure that, okay, he can start getting some push, gets a trade back. I believe we can see he's playing... Yeah, he's playing Sheep Shot here. Sheep Shot, probably Relentless Hunter, is what most Rek'Sais enjoy. You can play Tenacity Last Stand. I like that as well when you need Tenacity in the game in general. But this game he'll probably end up going Merc Treads, I would imagine. Actually, maybe not. It's Varus Kalista on the enemy team. And I can't remember what the jungler was for Shun this game. Was it? No, he was playing Vi this game, alright. And we can see here Vi is tapping bot side. Now here, he decided to go E second on Rek'Sai. Something I've started seeing people do more. And the reason is just because he can force trades. So anytime you can see this Rumble uses Q, he kind of looks for a trade permanently. And obviously, I mean, Tunnel just helps you force the trade. You want to force as many trades on Rek'Sai as possible. This is the one strength with the champion. It's just that, okay, you can always force trades using your E, and you can regenerate a lot. So in general, any trades you take will almost always be winning, unless it's just too bad of a trade, you know, in a sense. Which of course, okay, unless it's a bad trade, it's a good trade, you know, but you kind of know what I mean. It like has to be a really, really bad trade initially for it to be really bad. Take some more short trades. Rumble overheats here. Yeah, I was gonna say I would be surprised if it doesn't look to E in, obviously here. Maybe once Rumble turns around, like right here, I would already start looking to E in on him, probably. Here he's like in perfect range. Rumble doesn't have much to come with. He doesn't have his abilities set up yet. Instead, he decides to wait. He steps a bit back. He misses his E, and Rumble gets a good or a decent trade back as well. So this was maybe like the one misplay so far. Misses the cannon here. Rumble zones him out. He does not have E to trade on him here. And another thing you'll probably notice that I imagine he's going to be looking to do is that whenever Rumble mismanages his heat, if he does it, he's gonna look to trade. And what do I mean by that? So in general, on Rumble, you always want to stay in the heat range of like, what's it called? Like around 70, 80 heat. This is around the number you want to stay at. When you stay on these numbers, you can easily press EWQ, gain full heat. You still have another, usually maybe even towards 90 range. So anywhere towards this, because then with this, you're able to overheat using all your spells. You get the movement speed, you get the magic shred on enemy, you get slow on them, you get your Q that is overheat, and then you're also going to be able to out-attack the enemy down. And all of these is what leads to Rumble having such massive burst. And then usually if you overheat like super highly as well with like 90 heat and you can't use all your spells, what I mean by that, your last E, you can still use your last E. Because you can use your E and overheat for some dumb reason. Like, that's just how it's designed. So you can use your, like back in the day, Rumble E wasn't like a charged ability. It was like you had 2 E's when you used it. So then it was like you used your first E, alright, you had your second E you could use for free when you were overheated, and that has just kind of carried over when they changed the ability a bit. So in general, it's like, Rumble right now, it's like, if he ever mismanages his heat or mismanages his abilities, if he uses Q or if he doesn't like heat properly. So for example, here, you can see, okay, he's a bit low on the heat. And 369 looks for a trade when he's no longer able to just overheat on him and get a good trade. Also, he obviously uses his Q beforehand. I'm not sure if he saw the Q usage before he went in here. Okay, here he does see the Q usage and then he goes in pretty much instantly. And I like it. He gets a decent trade here. And obviously Rumble looks to trade back. He does take some damage. But in general, this is just a fairly decent trade for him. The wave is in a good spot for him. It's not easy for Rumble to punish. And anytime Rek'Sai takes this kind of trade, he always feels safe doing so. He can't really be ganked. He knew Vi was pathing bot side. We saw that earlier. Even if he does get ganked, worst case, he'll just trade flashes with the Vi. And it's like, in general, Rumble is the one being scared here. If he ever doesn't see the rel, and he's playing on this side of the lane, versus a Rek'Sai that has a really good gank setup, he's going to die. Rek'Sai here just completely sustaining. I believe Rumble is playing TP in this matchup. Yep. TP Conqueror. Conqueror is something we've seen a lot from Rumbles in this matchup, instead of the first strike into other tanks. I find it interesting. I haven't exactly tried it myself. I played into Comet Rumble, I played in First Strike Rumble. I think I tried playing into Conqueror Rumble at some point in 1-1s, but that kind of didn't work out, I remember. But here, Rumble is forced to take a reset, so we're a bit of CS down here, but in general, that's alright. We're pretty much full HP still. Rumble has to use his TP here on the Frozen Wave. Even with Shun covering here, he couldn't really push it out. I didn't quite catch what Rumble bought there. I want to see that. Oh my god, that's way too fast. Did he buy boots? I think he bought boots. Yeah, so we can see here, he has tier 2 boots on Rumble. Boots on Rumble is generally pretty standard purchase. You want to be able to, like, in general, movement speed super important on Rumble. Magic Pen super important on Rumble. So usually you either rush what's called pen boots or swifties on Rumble. Either one of these, depends on the lane a bit. In this kind of lane, you usually go for pen boots. If you can go haunting guys in a tank matchup as well. But he didn't have the gold for it, so I think in general this is fine. Now we can see 369 is being a bit more passive. I think he realizes that if he starts taking bad trades here when he hasn't reset yet and Rumble has, he can easily get dove. It is a Rumble at level 6, so he just want to take some short trades, be a bit slow. Here you can see the Rumble oversteps a bit. So he just takes a short trade, heals. Here I'm surprised actually he didn't just go in on the Rumble. I thought he would just, once again, position a bit further forward, just E in on the Rumble as soon as the overheat runs out, but maybe once again he's just scared of like losing HP. But here we can see he's positioning for a recall. Rumble uses his ult here. Also wanting to recall, actually. So they're both kind of scared in a sense, it looks like. And here I would easily queue the second bush here, if I'm the Rek'Sai. You don't really need a queue for anything else. If you can cancel him, it's good. Maybe he doesn't want to cancel him. Maybe that's like the play. He doesn't maybe care. He just thinks this is good for him anyways. He sets up a freeze here and decides to reset. No. He ends up deciding to stay once again. Okay, he just fins the wave a bit. Alright. And now we're gonna see the first reset from Rek'Sai. So he's gotten 1 reset off while Rumble has gotten 2. So even though he was missing out a bit on CS early game, he's now back in CS and he also has a bit of an XP lead. Not a huge XP lead or anything. And now you can see he's training with a bit more confidence. He has refill pot now. He has the Spectre's Cowl. In general, he's quite strong right now. He's quite tanky. He should not be trading here though. This is a bit of a mistake, I believe. Because you could see right here. I mean, maybe it ended up being good actually. But I feel like trading into the Rumble passive right here just doesn't make much sense to me. So, since he doesn't have tunnel here, it feels very awkward. So I would probably auto-attack here. Maybe like already back off, but since he doesn't have his W, otherwise I would have pressed W here, right? But he takes a bit too much damage for my liking. I mean, of course he's playing Rek'Sai, he's probably gonna heal it anyway, so maybe it just doesn't matter. Especially since this is old patch. But I think, especially on the new patch, if you're playing and your Rumble or your jungler is bot side here, I probably wouldn't take this trade in that kind of fashion. Rumble went for the plant here, so he didn't get too much off. He's still sitting on 2 refill pots though. I don't really like that Q on the minion. I would much have preferred him just Wing the minion here. Even if he takes a bit of Q damage from the Rumble, I think it's alright. Here, I think the Rumble is even a bit mismanaging his heat again. So as you can see, here he comes back. He's very low on heat. Here he presses W. I would genuinely not mind him actually looking for a trade, potentially even. So him going for the Q on the minions here doesn't make too much sense for me. I would rather see a W into maybe looking for a Q on the Rumble, just building up your Fury. Here we can actually see, okay, now he does go for the trade. But here, I don't feel like it makes that much sense. Maybe he just wanted to save his W, that's why he Q'd the minion. But if he had Q here, that's just free damage that he missed out on. And the Q on the minions also doesn't build any Fury, so it's just less Fury, it's less HP for him. He has less damage on the Rumble. I just think it's a bit of suboptimal trade here. Gets a good trade either way, of course. Rumble, once again, as I said, kind of mismanaging his heat, emo. He does the classic, accidentally clicks on the tunnel. These tunnels are way too easy to click on sometimes. But not if there's a minion standing on top of it, then it's impossible to click on. And now, just slow pushing here, kind of zoning out the Rumble. I wonder if they're gonna look for a dive on him here. Does look like Tian is looking for it. They haven't spotted Shun yet, so they could very well be. Rumble ults the wave, respects the dive. 369, maybe a bit over-aggressive here. I don't like that E at all. I would much rather have seen him, like, just either let his wave die, take the minions after he comes out, or just walk forward, and then E out when Rumble uses his spells. He took a lot of HP here for zero reason, I think. And you probably don't even want to like take these minions, because now, as you can see, Rumble kind of wants to reset. He just uses ult. Of course, his jungler is not on the top side of the map right now, and enemy jungler is. They're looking for a dive on bot lane, actually. And it's like, in general here, if 369 could just have looked for a freeze, I think that would have been much better for him. Then I don't think it would be that easy for Ben to play right now. Here we see him resetting, goes for the Kindle Gem. He might look for something here, but this is kind of what I was meaning. I feel like he lost a bit too much here. But I guess at the same time, it's been overextending. Goes for the knockup. I don't love the flash here. I mean, this I think is good. It's good from TM to recognize as well. Here, I mean, of course, it's hard to do, but he should obviously wait with his E until the shield is out. But I would just ult here. I think he's dead to an ult auto attack. And he might flash afterwards, but then at least you get his flash. I don't think he needs to flash on him here to auto attack. Because you also have Rel Q here, you can see. And this is not solo Q, you can actually communicate your abilities. So I would have liked to see him just ult the Rumble to begin with. Auto attack him. Tian takes the aggro with the Q. And then afterwards he just stands on the edge and tanks it, and I'm very certain he doesn't need to flash it. I think it's just an unnecessary flash from 369 here. Maybe they were scared of like Sun insta looking for something on top lane after the play that just happened bot lane. Maybe they thought he was gonna be covering this, so he just wanted to play it fast. That could be it. But otherwise I think Rumble would have died anyways. But either way, he gets some plates here. Rumble should have TP back up again. Usually around the 10-minute mark is when you get your second TP, unless you didn't use it on your first reset. Decides not to use it. I think it makes sense. He's not really the win condition here to Rumble, it's the rest of his team. His bot lane is really snowballing right now. If we can even see it on the tab right here now. The Varus is 4-0 right now. In general, really fucking strong. If he can save his TP, that's one way to ensure that his bot lane remains ahead. Because if Rek'Sai ever gets TP advantage here, and he can invest it towards the rest of the map, and the rest of the map loses from it, then all of a sudden the game is over. So Rumble has picked up the Haunting guys now. Rek'Sai has picked up the Spear Visage. This is a very powerful spike in this matchup for Rek'Sai for sure. I like that he didn't go Baumis here. I like it a lot. think Balmis is just a bit too slow, let's call it. For the Spear Visage, you really just want to sustain in this matchup. You're gonna eat a lot of poke in general. And on top of that, you don't really need the push versus Rumble. You're not gonna win anyways in terms of push. It's not like you're gonna stand in the middle of the wave just using your Balmis. And it doesn't do much for the trades. So I like the fact that he didn't go Balmis here and just went Spear Visage. I know in China in general they don't like the Balmis that much. I've seen them go a lot of Form-Mate. I don't agree with that maybe. But this game I do agree with not going Balmis first. I would like to see Sunfire second potentially. Or if you don't want to go Sunfire, you go Randuin's in this game. I think that makes some sort of sense as well. Enemy has double ADC. I think it makes some sort of sense. You could, if you really want to as well, maybe go another MR item. I think it's a bit greedy though, I don't really like it. I don't think MR versus Asol Rumble is like that insane. They still will deal damage on you, especially the Asol. And I mean, Rumble has Magic Pen versus you, so I don't love it. Misses cannon, you hate to see it, you hate to see it. Just posturing aggressively now. Now he's actually gaining the push just through being able to take good trades on him. I like the fact that he procs the Demolish here, gets a plating before the despawn. He's just gonna regen this very easily, so I would maybe even have liked though here, instead of like Eing out afterwards, just him walking around the tower here, proccing the plate, Eing out this way and taking the wave behind the tower. The only scary thing of course is if Vi could be there, but Drake is right now spawning. Their bot lane is in win condition. I do not believe Vi is here. And I haven't been tracking him. I believe they have been, and if they have been, I mean, and they recognize, okay, he's top lane, then sure. But here I even think we saw Vi on the map potentially. Not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if we saw... we did see on our map, on the river, on that mid lane ward. So yeah, I would have much preferred him to just proxy here. Maybe go for another plating afterwards. If not, just have the tempo ahead of the Rumble. Rumble has to catch the wave-ish right now. You already caught the wave. And then you can easily just play to TP down or even walk down to the play. I would have much preferred that. Either way, both top laners kind of staring at each other. See him here, just checking if he needs a TP or not, even ease in. I'm not sure if that was by accident or not. But he decides to TP here, Rumble TPs as well. Bias is flashing out, Rumble instantly gets Insect here. Nice, not that good of a play. It looked good initially. So let's see here what makes him decide he needs to TP. So in general, you see his jungler go in here. No, is it his jungler? No, it's Jakilab rather that postures aggressively here. And then it's Sun ends up going on Jakilab. He decides to TP here, try to peel him out a bit. That's probably why the play goes so bad as well. Jakilab is just 1 HP. On top of that, Azir has close to 0 mana, so they really just lack DPS here. I would have liked to see probably just insta Rek'Sai ult on the Rumble here. Just chasing him down, because they can't, like, this fight is just completely lost. I mean, maybe this is a bit of hindsight, of course. But that's what I would have liked to see, just insta ult on the Rumble, stick on him, see if you can get some damage on him. Maybe he flashes, maybe he doesn't, but either way, obviously this ends up not being too great. He goes to cover mid lane here. Before... It's interesting. So he just ends up covering mid lane here, catches the wave. Azir TP's top lane. Draven goes back bot. Seems like they're playing Herald here. He does not reset. Just decided to play the Herald instead. And I mean, looks like... yeah, looks like Honest just inting a bit, maybe. So they should get the Herald here now. Jakilab has rotated into mid lane. They are gonna give the bot lane tower for this. This is the first tower of the game. So that's obviously not that great potentially. Now he might even decide to reset. No, he doesn't. I was gonna say, if he decided to reset here, I would have much liked him just resetting over here instead. Maybe even anyways just resetting over there. He would probably have caught the wave at the same location with the tunnels. So now he kind of just wasted a tempo, having to recall after catching the wave. Either way, you can see what he tries to do here though. He realizes, okay, he's not maybe the main win condition right now. Just rotates into top lane after catching the bot lane wave. In general, he's strong, but he is not strong enough to solo carry the game for a split push or anything. He's playing Rek'Sai. at the end of the day, what he is a playmaker. And so he's looking to place, or rather 4 plays to make. So he walks into top side, he realizes, okay, I don't need to be bot lane right now, Rumble did not insta-push the wave. When he needs to be bot lane, he goes back. He obviously catches the buy over here, ends up having to flash. Yakilab might be caught here. Flashing from bin. 369 really getting chunked here. Ends up living though. I hope he doesn't ult in here. Oh, well, okay. That works too. Alright, in general ends up being 2 kills for them. A bit of a sloppy play though, kinda just caught it by accident. I don't know if they understood that Vi was probably gonna be here, or if he just kinda checked it by accident, obviously saw the Vi. But yeah. Either way, he goes back to catch bot lane wave. His Rek'Sai doesn't matter if he's low HP, he'll just push it. Now, after pushing this, you can see instantly he's like, okay, I'm gonna look to rotate into mid lane. He sees they're winning in mid lane anyways, so he recognizes the fact, okay, I don't need to go mid lane. But in general here, you can see entire time he's pushing, he's trying to pay attention, like, to what's going on the rest of the map. Even right now, like, now when he has TP, now he looks, okay, he realizes, okay, now we're winning. Otherwise, I would imagine what he would have done, let's say Kalista does not get caught here, is just rotate into mid lane, make sure they get the push here, and then rotate back into bot side river, or ish jungle, to get the vision control over Drake, right? Because right now, someone has to catch bot lane on enemy team. And if he rotates into mid, then they can ensure they get prio on 2 lanes. Either way, he decides not to rotate now. He doesn't need to anymore. He just pushes bot lane. They spawn the Herald in mid lane, so they get 2 towers here. And they have good setup for the objective. Now, the only thing here is that he does sit on a lot of gold. He ends up looking to reset. He does have TP though. See here. He ends up going the MR item actually. And he actually also ends up just heading, or starting to head top lane. So the reason why he does this, I believe, is just because he thinks enemy will not contest this Drake at all. And so, because he thinks they will not contest the Drake, he just instantly goes into top lane to make sure they can't get a good cross map off. Now they end up looking to contest anyways, so he TP's down. It's fine to use your TP for this. He would have had to TP anyways, because he would have been late if he started walking towards bot side. It makes sense that he starts walking top side on. Nothing really ends up happening afterwards though. They get the Drake. I believe they're gonna lose the mid tower for this. Which of course isn't great, but that's just the position they found themselves in. Now he catches the mid wave. And here he realizes once again, okay, I don't need to be bot side right now. The bot lane wave is not in a position where I need to catch it. I'm playing a tank, I'm playing a playmaker, I want to look for plays. So instantly he goes over here to the top lane, sees Rumble pushing out, overloads the top lane. I believe there should be a pick on Rumble into Nash start probably. Yep. And they end up starting Nash, as I said. I like this tunnel. So in general, the tunnel I try to look for when doing Nash, because Rek'Sai is a great turning tool. In general, especially if you have a tunnel placed already and then you have an E. So for example, if he thinks they're gonna approach from this direction or like this direction, tunneling over this wall makes a lot of sense. Like right over here, for example, or over here, because then when they go to check over here or like over here or something like this, you can easily tunnel and then place another tunnel and you can easily catch them. Rek'Sai is a great turn tool for this. And if you think they're gonna be coming from mid, you can also tunnel from this direction. That's completely fine. Or even from this direction if you're playing red side here. All of these are completely fine. The only thing with this tunnel is that I believe it's probably impossible to click on due to it being like right on top of Nash. I have done this tunnel or similar tunnels in the past. It's very frustrating. Of course, enemy here does not end up looking to turn from this direction, so I would probably, in hindsight, looking at how everything was positioned, like when they were catching the, what's it called, the Rumble over here, they see the Kalista, they saw the Varus on mid lane. I would probably have preferred him to just tunnel from mid lane, or at least gone all the way across here and tunnel this direction instead, just so that he has a better turn. But they do have Ashe to turn with as well, so that might be what they're looking for. They also have Rel to turn with. He doesn't necessarily need to turn this game, but I do think it's a fairly free non-committal engage, and even if it's like not the engage, it's still a pretty good follow-up. Here we can see Knight does end up overextending a bit too much maybe. But this doesn't look that great for them. Sun is making a lot of space for his team here. Been there, just TP's right into the middle of the chaos. Oh, I would have liked him to ult there. I didn't have ult yet, I see. It's a good Q though. If it did have ult there, I would have liked him to ult and then just insta-E the Varus. He might have died for it, I'm not sure though. Either way, they end up not getting Nash here. I mean, in general, as I said, I didn't really love the position they found themselves in. I think here, if he has a better tunnel setup, he can easily go on Sun right here. Or if he had a tunnel set up in like this kind of direction, something like that, maybe, I don't think he would ever set it up like this, but maybe over here, then he could like at least maybe look for a flank onto the Kalista Varus, maybe already here, to be honest, instead of turning on the Rek'Sai. Like when they walked this far in, I would much have preferred him to position over here and just tunnel over here. These guys look very exposed to me. And here he does have ult actually, so that's what was confusing me earlier. It's the fact that his ult went on cooldown because he tried to use it on someone, probably on Shun right here. No. He tried to use it on Bin then, I guess. Yeah, right here he tried to use it. No, so if he did have his ult here, then that would have been great. But I think just turning on the here, worst case, you need to ult after you go in on them. But if you do need to ult, that's completely fine. You stall a lot of time. It makes sure that Ashe can follow up on the engage. It makes sure Rel can follow up on the engage. Asir as well. If they want to turn with Ashe ult as well, I think that's fine. But I think Rek'Sai is just such an easy engage tool on these Nashes that they should probably have looked for it. Either way, they don't get it. He decides to go Cosmic Radiance here and then into Randuin's. He decided to go Tabais as well this game instead of the Merc Threads. I think it's fine. Considering the fact that he goes double MR item, I don't think he needs Merc Threads at all. And in general, I mean, he wouldn't go it for the CC this game, so it's probably better to go double MR item. Now, compared to before, when we were talking, this time he can't just have the freedom to just go and make a topside play. He goes bot lane first, he decides to catch out, or push out one wave. Doesn't push out another instantly, instead goes clearing some wards, making sure, okay, I'm not gonna just die randomly right here. Because, of course, this is like the one timer. Right now you can see they have a lot of vision set up on top side right here. No vision set up on bot side. If he decides to push another wave instantly, he gets collapsed on. They could turn into Nash, but in general, if it's like Azol looking on him or something like this, it's not going to be that reliable. And even if it's just Azol by himself, it's still not a great trade for him to take. Like if Azol is jumping him. So he just goes looking for some vision setup first, then goes into bot lane. Now when he has the wave pushed out, he looks to potentially go into mid lane again. Sees that, okay, there's no play here, because the enemy already respects. If enemy does not respect here, and they stay up here, or they stay like contesting the wave, he would just rotate fully into mid lane here, and I would imagine he looks for an engage. Now that he's fogging into there, enemy does respect. And he just walks back bot lane when they have ensured the mid lane prio. So he even waits, you can see here, before showing, right here, for Draven to push in, and then get the prio, and then start moving. And now that he has started moving, he went to push the wave. And one thing I kind of like the idea to do on Rek'Sai is having tunnels set up to the lane you're trying to rotate to. So for example here, I would like him to honestly set up a tunnel here. And then like potentially later on a tunnel over this wall. And then if he ever would want to look from onto mid lane from bot lane, then he could just easily take like 3 tunnels, be there way faster than the Rumble. He doesn't have to expand his DP if he's just looking for a play or something like this. He's rotating super fast, he could rotate super fast back as well. It just means that you can create so much more tempo advantage, I think. And it's something that is not super easy to do. It's not something you can do most games because it takes a while to actually set up this kind of tunnel system. But I think it's worth doing if you have the time. And right now, he doesn't have much else to do, so I would do it. Of course, now they start Nash, he's just rotating in. Now I think it's fine to not use the tunnel, of course. He will probably, or potentially need it. They decide to not keep going with the Nash. He just goes back bot lane. And once again, this is kind of what I mean. Imagine he had 2 more tunnels set up now. He would already be on this bot wave pushing. Rumble would still be mid lane completely homeless. But either way, he pushes the wave. He decides to take a reset. Alright, yes, his random is now 3 item Rek'Sai. He's really strong in this game right now. It's really hard for anyone on enemy team to kill him. Azol can't kill him for sure. He has Blighting Uval, especially if the Rumble ends up hitting his E's onto the Rek'Sai, because that shreds a lot of MR. We'll see here. He looks for an engage after the Drake here. Rumble seems to be a bit caught out. Good double knock up here. But doesn't seem like they can find much else. I'm kinda sad right here. I would wish for the Ashe to just insta-ult the Rumble here. I think Rumble could potentially have been caught here, but maybe the DPS is just too far away. Now, goes to catch top lane wave. Doesn't waste time clearing wards on the wave, but rather just lets his teammates clear the wards instead, as he catches the wave. He's gonna look to catch one more wave here, potentially. Yep. And he does get engaged on, but I don't think he can theoretically die here. It's gonna take a long time to kill him. I don't think this is correct at all from BLG here. And yeah, he gets a TP here from Cream. And I mean, it's basically just a failed engage onto this this Rek'Sai. And one champion that actually can kill Rek'Sai is Azol. Azol has a lot of sustained DPS if he gets to hit for a while, but obviously here he does not get hit for a while. The Vi ult is spent, the Rumble ult is spent. They do get Ashe to 1 HP, so it's probably not a Nash start here, but maybe it could be. On ends up dying to Jackie Love. It's a good catch. I would honestly not mind them a Nash start here. Rek'Sai can tank it for pretty much eternity. Ashe would be here quite soon, and enemy has to reset right now. So I would have liked the Nash start here with just Draven as Seer DPS. Okay, they end up doing it still, just with TP. Obviously TN went for a reset here as well. I don't really like the way they started this. They ended up attacking the ward at the same time as they attacked the Nash, so the enemy actually spots it. It's not rocket science, they could probably figure it out anyways, but it's still not that great to do. I like this tunnel a lot more than the last one, but this time around I wouldn't have hated this tunnel, since this is where Vi and Rumble is positioning. Good ult there on Cream. They end up getting the Nash, very free. Probably ends up killing the Vi here as well. Rek'Sai ult right here. I was gonna say, I would like him to go in here. Or, I think there's an angle right here already. I would insta-E in here when they're on top of each other. I think when he E's over the wall like this, it's too easy to dodge in this direction. Right here, if you just E's on top of them, straight up on top, it's so hard to dodge. Like, where are they gonna dodge? They can't dodge in here. It's so hard to dodge in here. He's just gonna easily rotate on them. But you can see here, as I was talking about. He ends up E'ing into the bush. Very easily dodged. This is an overextension. Probably shouldn't have gone for this play at all, to be honest. They just got the Nash. They should just have played with the Nash. Now they end up losing a bunch of those Nashes. I don't think they catch anyone else here, though. I think Vin could maybe have killed Cream with his ult. On flashes in here, completely crazy actually. I end up killing the entire team. It's not bad. Yeah, but I think it's just an overextension, to be honest. I don't hate like E'ing in there. If you want to E in, I think you should do it earlier, but in general, fundamentally you should just back off there. He actually ends up going more MR. This is crazy to me. I guess he's building towards Jack Show. Can we see here what he's looking towards? No, we can't. He's just not sure what to build there from the looks of it. I would have liked here, potentially a Styrax. It makes a lot of sense for me versus the Varus versus the Kalista that have a lot of like burst damage. So if you do get the low HP, you can still be secure. Okay, I'm not dying. I think he's playing Revitalize. I'm not sure about this, but he is playing Spirit Visage. If you have these and you have Styrax, your shield is gonna be completely crazy. And it's in general just a great item on Rek'Sai. He doesn't have any tenacity right now. Having that little amount of tenacity just versus the, for example, the Varus ult if you get caught in that, or like, yeah, basically it's the Varus ult this game, to be fair. Azol ult as well, I guess. It's not bad. It's never bad. Initiative on bench. What up, Green Life? What up? How are you, man? Alright, 2 control wards. I think he's realized at this point, yeah, I don't have much else to build, so I'm just gonna make a control ward bot. I like the game, or how he's played the game so far, very supportive towards his teammate, using his lead to make sure that, okay, I can maybe use this towards my teammates, but TN just kind of suicides, to be honest. Really have to respect on this timer. They have pretty much nothing to play for, so in general, if you look at the perspective here of, what's it called, of TES, you really want to make sure you get prio in one of these lanes. So either you go through bot lane here or you go from mid lane. It can be fine to slowly start walking into the jungle here, but I wouldn't say it's the Rel's job to do this. Of course, Rel wants to eventually find an engage on the flank, but I would have much rather seen the Rek'Sai here, for example, who can easily get out over the wall. The Rel is just always gonna get caught here, and you can see it here, like, he just gets Vi-ult and then it's just not playable for him. And Rek'Sai here would for sure have lived. And now they just end up getting caught for zero reason, kinda. They know enemies should have full vision in this jungle. It's not easy to contest. And they really just have to brute force a lane. They kinda start doing it now from mid lane. They just give the bot lane tower. Preferably they would not have had to give both towers here, just one of them. And they start getting some prio in mid lane. Drake is spawning a bit too soon though. So they end up giving it, I think. We'll see Ben resetting here. Maybe this will change their mind, I'm not sure. Tian is actually gonna spawn for this, and he does have Hex Gate, so he's gonna be here in time. So they end up fighting this still. They don't have any proper vision set up though, or anything, so it's gonna be really hard to contest. There's some things they've got going for them though. One is that they have Ashe that can check with her E, of course. So they have that to play check with. They have Rek'Sai with his burrow. So of course he can also check some angles that other people can't. So here you can easily see, okay, they're running away. They get the flash instantly from Naya. I think this is a bit too deep, maybe. Oh, maybe not, actually. He's going to die here, though. So the reason why I was saying this might be a bit too deep is because look at this play. I don't hate the engage here. I think here, when Knight flashes, while it is of course great to go on Knight here, I wouldn't hate the fact of just, or like the idea of just, okay, you just walk out here. Or maybe they feel like Tian is already too exposed or something. He can't really walk out there. But here he flashes away. Sure, you have a 2-man Rel ult, but look where your DPS is standing. This is your Azir, this is your Draven. It's not easy, and I'm fairly certain, yeah, I mean, we can even see it here. They will always reinforce this faster than than your teammates. So Vi just flies over the wall. Rumble should have ult here. Rumble could easily just slam down his ult here right now. And the only other person that we don't see right now, or well, we don't see 2 more people. We don't see, I guess Rumble is here, I'm stupid. But either way, we don't see Kalista and we don't see Varus, right? But easily, if they wanted to, Kalista could just position over the wall, just throw Varus over it as well, for example. And Varus is a poke champion anyways. So I don't really like this. I think these guys are too zoned off. We can even see, okay, here Varus is looking for poke onto them. And that's just gonna be his job this fight, just look to ult them, poke them, zone them out a bit. And it's just really difficult to play. I mean, it's of course great that they end up killing Knight here. Okay, say it isn't. The Draven ult is good, of course. They end up getting a lot of damage on him. And Rek'Sai ends up killing him with his ult here. But I still don't love this. And I would prefer here, once again, okay, this guy is dead for sure. Just reposition on the Drake. I think here they have something to play for potentially. So I wouldn't hate just giving up this, that they've gotten this like little inch in a sense. Just give it up again, but make sure you have the position on the Drake. But here they get really poked out, Cream gets really poked out. Tian is maybe looking for something here, but overall I don't think they can do much now. They're all kinda low HP. Maybe they will look with the Cream TP, but Jackie Love is also really low here. And Tian just suicides to try and get the steal, to be honest. Cream here has TP'd in though. Does have a zero ult. Manages to hit it onto on after a flash ult, but no one else. It's a good flash here, really good flash here from what's it called, Elk here. So you can see here, most people make the mistake of flashing backwards here, and that's what Cream expects him to do. But the on flash is really good here. Really good sideways flash. And I think this is a difference that a new player, or a new player, I don't want to call it. Cream is a bit of a new player, but like I'm more of a rookie player compared to a veteran. I think if this is like Chovy, or it's Faker, or if it's Knight, or something like this, maybe not Knight because he's not really known for a seer, but a more veteran player, rookie, something like that, I think they're always waiting with flashing here until they see the Varus flash, or until they see Vi fly onto them. Because here, if he's a bit more patient, I think he can easily flash onto these two. They end up one-tapping on. He goes into Sonya, but I don't think they can play this at all. Jackie Love has a flash out. Alki is looking, but doesn't find anything.
Your turret has been destroyed.
It's 369 here. This goes top lane. Just wants to push it out once again. And if we know the story of the game, he's gonna push this wave out, maybe one more on the top of it, but probably not. And then he's just gonna look to regroup with his team and look for a play. Yep. So now when his wave is pushed out, when he knows he doesn't have to catch anything anymore, he just goes back to his team, he clears out some wards, he looks for a play. Now he can see Azol is clearing top. So eventually he's gonna need to clear top. Azol is gonna probably push one more here. Doesn't actually, he's a bit too scared. But now 369 doesn't really have to push one either if he doesn't want to. This goes over the wall to plant. I would like to see him set up a tunnel here. Doesn't end up doing it. They just get the Nash for free pretty much. Yo, Forsland. How are you, man?
Your turret has been destroyed.
Who do you think wins MSI? I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. It's gonna be, I mean, I think we can all agree it's BLG, Gen G, or T1. But which one of these three? That's the real question. I think BLG has been insane, so I would probably bet on them, but I wouldn't be surprised if any of the other two teams win. I mean, I don't think TES will win. I don't think they're bad, but I think they're just a step behind BLG. But we never know. We'll see. And let's be honest, the EU and NA teams, they're completely, there's no hope, you know what I mean? Alright, so now that he has Nash, compared to just grouping up with his team after pushing, you can see he actually stays to buff the wave. This, in general, is how you want to play the Nash. He doesn't play super aggressive, he recognizes the fact that, okay, enemy team right now could easily just overload on him while they don't have pressure mid. But now, as the more vision they get, he starts stepping up. Of course, enemy team was looking on him here as well. They get the mid tower. I would imagine here that they just rotate into top lane. Yep, they start rotating a bit. They recognize the fact, okay, enemy is just giving this tower as well. So they start rotating back. And now he's just gonna buff the next wave, I think. No? I really will reset here. Okay, this is interesting actually. They decide to, instead of keep on playing like top lane and mid lane, they just decide to swap it all over to bot lane, get the bot lane tower here. I would have expected them to push for inhibs here, but maybe they feel like they can't. Or they feel like it's too greedy, they just want to play the Drake. They do have soul points still, so. Yeah, I think BLG 40%, Gen G 30, and T1 30. Yeah, something like that. It's hard to say. I have heard some people say, I think LPL is not that good this year, and they think like LCK is a lot better. I've heard some people say LCK is not that good, and BLG is really fucking insane. Like these, so it's super hard to say. But either way, they start looking on mid lane here. Goes into bot lane. And now 369 is playing a bit too aggressive here. So in general, you just want to buff this wave. This is just the general idea. You send whoever mid lane, when you're sieging down the side lane, you don't think will get caught. This is the entire idea of it. So one person pushes mid wave and 4 people push side wave. Sometimes you will have 4 people push mid lane and then rotate 3 people to side lane and one pushes the side lane initially, right? This is very general Nash macro, right? And whoever stands alone is the person who can't get caught. So this game, it's either going to be Rek'Sai or it's going to be Rel. These are the two hardest people to catch. Now, on top of that, you don't want to make yourself be able to get caught here. And for some reason, 369 here starts trading aggressively soon. Of course, maybe he just wants the wave to get fully in. I believe this is it, and just siege the wave. Or siege the tower, rather, with the wave. But yeah, of course, he just gets engaged on here. I'm not sure he dies. He ends up having to flash. I don't really love the play. They end up getting bot lane tower, but he doesn't get anything mid lane here. Like, for this flash, pretty much. Like, he wouldn't have gotten anything more in particular. The only thing he could have gotten, if enemy wasn't looking on him, is the fact that he could maybe have gotten some more damage on mid tower. But even if he does do that, I don't think it matters that much, and I also don't think there's ever a world where enemy actually should be looking on bot lane here compared to mid lane when Shun is standing in mid lane. Because enemies engage otherwise this game, we've seen, is Azul flying in and ulting, which probably won't happen into a Draven, I would imagine. Maybe it could, it's not impossible, but I don't think it will happen. It's like a Kalista ult or a Varus ult. All of these are very unlikely to happen, I think. It's much more likely that Vi would want to look for engage, so if Vi is standing in mid lane, I don't think you fuck with that guy, you know what I mean? I think you chill a bit. Either way, he has to end up flashing. Goes back to mid lane afterwards. You still have a bit of Nash. It's about to run out fairly soon though. I used to say that it runs out. But he probably should get Drake from this, or at least have a really good position on it. Enemy kinda has to contest it. It is sold. But they are not in a position to do it at all. They just get it for free pretty much. And here I wonder if they're gonna look for a fight. I wouldn't look for a fight here, I think. The reason why... I mean, of course, I think TES is in a good position here to fight. I'm not gonna say that. Like, I think they just got sold. They're quite strong in the game. I don't think their, like, setup is, like, that horrible or anything. But I do think enemy setup is nice here. Like, they have some decent flanks going on. We just saw them walk in. They have the control over the space. And they're playing Varus, right? So whenever they have control over the space, you will take in a lot of damage just walking in, right? So if they want to walk in here, they can do so, if they want to. But Vi will flank, Rumble will slam down an ult, Azul might flank as well, who knows. They will eat Varus poke. I just don't like the position in general. I feel like they're just taking a suboptimal position. I would much rather have them just create up the space, force them to walk back a bit, walk down here into the jungle, and then walk back to mid lane. And then just take a fight on even ground, and then set up a better fight. Because here, I mean, of course here they don't force anything. Shun ends up trying to force here. I think it's actually ends up being what's called BLG that overforce here, to be fair. And maybe this was just TES' idea that they wanted to bait them, but I think if they walk into mid lane there, they're overcommitting for something they don't want to commit for. And I think they should just in general be looking to walk back into the jungle. I don't really love how they're standing around in river either. I don't think it makes much sense. But maybe they just think the game is stalemate then, and they just want the enemy to make a mistake. Alright. This should be the game pretty much.